For me, that was Clipperton. So this is the most remote atoll in the world. It takes 96 hours to get here from the coast of Mexico, and that's on a good day. So this is extremely far from anywhere. It's got a crazy history, too. I'm going to attempt to give you the history of Clipperton in about 60 seconds. So it was discovered in 1711 by two French guys, and they named it Ile de la Passion, or Passion Island, because it was discovered on Good Friday. Fast forward 100 years, nobody's calling it Passion Island, they're calling it Clipperton, and that's because a pirate by the name of John Clipperton used to use this place as a base for his raids and operations. Fast forward until 1906, and Mexico and the British East India Trading Company come to an agreement where they put 100 people on the island to mine guano. So yes, we started mining bird poop off the island for fertilizer. Well, crazy thing is, there is no potable water or arable land on this entire little island, so everything had to come from Mexico. So shipments of water and food came from Acapulco until the Mexican Revolution started, and suddenly these stopped. Well, when food and water stopped showing up, people started dying. So within the next 5 years, the population went from 100 to 14, 1 man and 13 women. He's a bad guy. His name is Victoriano Alvarez, and he calls himself the King of Clipperton and spends most of his days raping and torturing the women on the island. Delightful guy. Anyway, they don't tolerate this for very long. He gets bludgeoned by a couple rocks, and then rumor has it that one day later, a U.S. Navy ship shows up and rescues the last of the 13 people there. Bad timing on his part, I suppose. So, fast forward to World War II, the United States illegally lives here for about a year, 1944 to 1945, as a base of operations. After that, no humans come to Clipperton. All right, so here we are. Clipperton's gorgeous. It's very pretty from far away. It's got this nice picturesque little single palm tree where you could be sipping a drink underneath it. Well, it's also quite beautiful underwater. Clipperton, because it is so isolated, doesn't have a lot of diversity, but it does have a large biomass of fish, which is a pretty neat thing, and it's extremely healthy. It also has a resident population of 100,000 birds called the masked booby. It is the largest population of this bird anywhere on the planet. Unfortunately, this bird has to also share the island with loads and loads of plastic. So I showed up on Clipperton and spent 5 days there, and I was absolutely blown away by the magnitude of the plastic problem. So it's an atoll, it's a ringed island, and every single step I took on that 8 miles of island was covered in plastic. Everything from refrigerators down to microplastics. And this is the issue. A lot of times it's this small stuff that's the biggest problem because we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it show up in the food chain very easily. We have to be looking for this stuff, though. So we get microplastics. The sand is primarily plastic now, more than sand. And you get pictures like this, with a bird facing off with a plastic water bottle. This is not something that we should be seeing, but it's actually more common for a bird to encounter a plastic bottle than it is for it to encounter another bird. And you also have this happen. We spent 5 days diving here, and we collected almost 3 miles of discarded monofilament longline, all still with the fasteners and the clips and the weights and the hooks attached to them, not to mention the 2 ghost fishing nets that we also pulled up off the reef. These are just not things that should be happening, and we need to do better. We really need to start to realize the magnitude of our impacts on the planet. We need to start to realize that no matter where on Earth we live, every drop of water we drink, every breath we take connects us to the sea, and we're at the center of every one of these problems. Part of that is good because it means that since we created this issue, we are also uniquely capable of solving it. One of the things that we need to keep in mind is that all of these daily actions by us really, really add up. It might seem small and trivial to say, no, I don't need a straw. No, I don't need that plastic bottle. No, I will bring my own bags. That seems small. But when 7.7 billion people say that, it's not small. It makes a huge difference. And everything we do contributes to this issue, whether it's positive or negative. Just for a number or a piece of reference, we dump, unintentionally mostly, about 8 million tons of trash into the ocean every single year. To try to imagine that, that is the equivalent of 19,000 Boeing 747s fully loaded with trash dumped into our ocean every single year. This is obviously not something we're doing intentionally, but it's this runaway cycle of our single-use plastic lifestyles that's getting us to this point. And we need to not just look to corporations to make these changes, which they do need to do, but we need to look to ourselves to make these changes in our daily lives and hopefully the lives of those around us so we can work together towards a bluer, better, more sustainable future. Thanks.
I'm fired up now.
It's almost like I rehearsed it.
Almost. Oh, all right, 5 minutes. Question.